when I left, they too, after I took me back, changed over this church.
You did not. That was a lot different the first time.
And next morning, I was there.
And still blessed, you were blessed, how wonderful. Well, I'm so glad. Well, we had, no wonder we didn't catch you. You were out in the right, you're all, we feel sorry for you.
And I managed to do it.
Good, you needed to.
I got paid out now, everybody's telling my great grandmother, and she had no mercy.
Getting ready to have another one, aren't you? Great. God is good.
I'm excited, that's why. I went to pay that, I'm worried about the total change. We are 76, and they'll not remember us. It's just all that night.
Yeah.
Really impressive one time you're here. You've got to really impress them one time you're here.
That's right.
I turned it to
All right, guys,
70.
I want to welcome everyone. Just turn your cell phones on vibrate. And I'm the first one that's going to go off. John, you say the prayer for us, please.
Father, we thank you for your tenderness and gentleness. We read where you said you were gentle. God, if you weren't gentle with the human race, we'd be in trouble. But God, our hearts are so thankful. Our minds are so thankful that you've been gentle with us. You've been merciful with us. You've watched over us. And Father, we ask you again, watch over this congregation. Watch over our town. To me, the greatest town in America. God, watch over and keep us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. If me and John don't want to lose a little weight, we're going to do a seconds class. About to knock me down there and play. I don't know what happened. It's slung around, about to knock me down. I do want to welcome everybody, and we'll start with the approval of the agenda. Do I hear a motion?
I'm making
Second.
Get that. Yeah. John? Aye. Okay, next is approval of minutes, August 2019 meeting. Do I hear a motion?
I'm making
Second? Thank you. Okay, next is consideration of establishment for the IDA. It's got you and Quincy, so. John?
Yeah, we have, it's actually my town manager's report, but we have some people actually proposing to do some deals or wanting to do some projects with the town. In order to do that and, do it legally and, the town needs to establish an industrial development authority. The town of Richlands has an industrial development authority. Tazewell County has it, town of Tazewell has it, town of Bluefield has it. And I called Jim Carmody about that this week, and he agreed with me about the industrial development authority. That's the reason I put him in parentheses on exactly how we need to go about getting it. But it's vital if we're going to do some capital outlay projects and, maybe give some incentives to people that's gonna put money into our town, and maybe whether it's a restaurant or whatever it may be, just moving forward. So with that being said, anyone that's here, I believe would be in favor of the IDA. It would just help us with anything. I mean, you know, I mean, if you're in an industrial development authority or a zone, for that matter, you know, I know this is a touchy subject, but if someone say something, I'll just give you a hypothetical. Say someone comes to the town, they want to do a restaurant, and they say the restaurant wants to serve or sell beer. You know, it's hard for us to give them an alcohol license or even support them or even give funds to that without an IDA to let them serve alcohol. Now, I go to church, I don't drink beer, but in saying that, you know, but in saying that,
Cause my wife will let me.
you know, in saying that, Food City sells alcohol, Walmart sells alcohol, all the good restaurants sell alcohol. I don't have a problem with eating at a good restaurant and them selling alcohol. So, you know, that's one thing. So you don't really have to pass a liquor by the drink ordinance like the town of Richlands did, because that got blew out of so much proportion in the town of Richlands when they went that way, because they already have an IDA. Anybody that wants to come in can go through their IDA and do the liquor by the drink or alcohol, sell beer, whatever, because it's through the that's the reason Good Time Charlie's for years was able to sell alcohol at Claypool Hill, because that property, when Bob Mullins developed that property, it was developed under the Industrial Development Authority bonds. So that's like an industrial park. So with that being said, just moving forward, you know, I think it's vital for us, because I had a gentleman contact me that's interested in purchasing a piece of property here in the town of Cedar Bluff that would like to do like a franchised restaurant. I had it in my manager's report, but he was wanting some incentives from the town, but it's really, we're sort of handcuffed at the moment. We really can't help him right now to do what he wants to do unless we do form this IDA. So just moving forward, go ahead, Jim. Do you have anything to say about?
Well, you already mentioned that there are other towns right here, 3 other towns right here in Tazewell County that have set up industrial development authorities. I can remember, oh gosh, it's probably been 35 years ago when John Willis built his chiropractic office over there next to Magic Mark, and that was done through the Industrial Development Authority. It was the first time that I'd had an opportunity to see something like that work. And of course, like you said, you know, that they would have the authority to issue bonds and provide financing that the town itself wouldn't be in a position to do. The council would have to adopt a resolution that creates the Industrial Development Authority, and there's actually a section of the Code of Virginia, well, title 15.2-4900, I wrote it down. It begins there and goes forward, and that outlines all the different things that we would need to do and that the IDA could do if it were created. And so if the council was disposed to do that, then I could prepare a resolution for them to consider for adoption if you put it on the agenda for the October meeting. Or if Mayor Dye wanted to call a special meeting for certain kinds of business, we could take it up just at a separate meeting.
Well, I believe, I've spoken to almost all the council, I believe they're all.
We had one at one time.
Yeah, I think they're all in favor. I have some recommendations. I'd like to see Jerry Herring on the IDA, and you know, I'd like to see, because he was on the IDA before, wasn't he, Jerry?
Yeah, I was
So, you know, I just think it's vital. Not only that, moving forward, I meant to tell him earlier in the speech, when you call Jim Baldwin at the Cumberland Plateau, it's easier to get grants in funding for big projects as far as, you know, if you have an IDA. That's the reason what a lot of people don't realize. A lot of the money Tazewell County spends, they think they're wasting taxpayer money, but they're really not. That's grants and stuff that they got from that, from different locations or localities or whatever, but it's all funneled through the IDA, which is funneled back into Tazewell. So with that being said, yeah.
I'm not waiting him on, I'm just talking.
Yeah, I know what you're doing. He let one up here and he's making me smell. That's what he's doing.
Big win.
Yeah. But anyways,
Did you need a motion?
Well, he was on, did you say you was a chairman over?
he was chairman. Why did it,
Johnny was on it also.
hey Johnny, why did y'all get rid of it for?
There's nothing going on.
I'm saying no, just that
We had one person come, wanted to purchase a meal, put a restaurant in, but she wouldn't. I think Johnny and I both, everybody, as long as at that time, tried to talk her into, you know, selling alcohol. We tried to tell her that, you know, you're going to have to sell alcohol. If you're going to have a nice restaurant, people like to go sit down and have a glass of wine, maybe a cold beer. I mean, everybody you don't have to drink it,
Right,
but, you know, if you're going to make money at it, that's what you got to have.
that's right.
People are going out of town now, eating at restaurants. Of course, we don't have one right now, but
Mhm.
I think it'd be nice if we could get something like that.
Right.
I had a restaurant for 3 years, 4 years. My first year I had no alcohol. Because my father-in-law was pastor and I was afraid to ask him. So finally I went to him, I said, everybody else is making money and we ain't. We're barely getting by. I said, we gotta have alcohol by the, you know, you go to Walmart, Kmart, anywhere. He said, you should have done a year ago. But I just didn't want to ask because I'm afraid of getting turned down. So once I did, I mean, it turned my business around. I'm not just saying that. I bought my business really cheap and I sold it really high. Because some guys from Florida were here. And they come to my restaurant one weekend. Luckily, cousins was closed for a wedding, and I had about a 4-hour wait, and they bought it that next Monday. But, you know, I priced it high, but that's one of the questions they had was IDA. Because really, people from here, they use IDA a whole lot more than what we do.
Everywhere, yeah.
So can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
For alcohol sales, what about proximity to the school?
Well, I was set up, was right directly beside of a church, my restaurant was, and I had a school directly in front of me. And it was a Presbyterian school, but it didn't make any difference. A funeral home on the side of me on the other side, so I don't know.
Now, doesn't the, and I may be speaking off hand here, but out of turn, but doesn't the Mexican restaurant, Long John Silver's, they serve alcohol?
They do.
Now, I know, of course, that's pretty good ways down, but it is across from the high school there. So, you know.
I've never heard of any. I thought the same thing until I saw the restaurant.
1,000 feet or something like that comes
Yeah.
to mind. I've heard that somewhere.
Well, I've heard of like churches and stuff. Like
Well, just the property that I've been approached on, and, you know, I won't tell you who, but it was the car wash property, you know. So that's far enough, you know, that from the school to the car wash property is a further distance, in my mind, than what Long John Silver's to the high school is, you know.
Well, that'd be great for me.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna
yeah.
let Jim,
There's more dangerous things
we're gonna let Jim run and make it the old Western bar just for you. Mr. Singleton there, put a good Western bar across the
Yeah.
Cowboys.
I'm sure I've had alcohol in there.
But here's the thing, and moving forward, we don't have to have monthly meetings on the IDA. We can do it at will and advertise. So, you know, if we get overloaded with people wanting applications or come in and sit down, we can advertise that and do that, or we can set it up like on call or what, you know what I'm saying? So we're just not meeting every month and we don't have someone show up, you know, but we can do it that way. But I think it's vital that we have an IDA.
Okay, so y'all wanna go ahead and you wanna make a motion? Y'all wanna go ahead and put
Mr.
this
Carter, you
on
think you need a motion on that?
for the next one?
To have it on there?
Yeah, I would think just to, you know, say that you want to have that considered on the agenda next month.
Okay.
And, you know, direct the town attorney to prepare something for presentation.
So do I hear a motion to put it on,
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Tim's gonna
Tim,
say.
he'll second.
Okay.
Any more discussion, John, are you good?
what are some of the other things that the IDA will do besides promoting
Alcohol, I know what you're saying.
it? Yeah,
Restaurants, what all do they do besides restaurants?
Well, yeah, I mean, the capital projects, anything, anytime you need grant funding or whatever, like, if I call Jim Baldwin and say, hey, say we wanna purchase a property, and it's not even, not even really, we just wanna purchase it through the town. There's grant money out there, but it's gotta be ran through the IDA.
Just like these spearhead trails, what we did in your, people wants to build cabins.
Right.
Come to the IDA,
That's right.
get their money.
Yeah. You good? Any more discussion?
Just about anything, really.
Okay. Go ahead, John. You good?
yeah, I'm good.
You got a motion?
Thank you. Okay, next is calling for public hearing, this is the occupancy tax, the B and B, you want to do A and B, John? How do you-
We can do it together if you want.
And B is to borrow money to establish a line of credit. You want to touch base on that?
Yeah, the transient occupancy tax, what we foresee coming in to the town, just with the spearhead trails and connected up to the Hatfield McCoy Trail and all, a lot of people's gonna be renting property out like Airbnb or bed and breakfast and all. So I was talking to Davey Woodard, and throughout the county and throughout the state, we can charge whatever we want to charge, but after 2%, the rest of that money goes to the state. And so he said basically the norm is just a 2% tax on, say you rent a room out at your home, say you rent it for, $500 for a weekend, to a couple. Or more, 1,000, okay. Yeah, so, instead of paying 10%, us only keeping 2 and giving 8% to the state, we can charge 2 and keep the whole 2. You see what I'm saying?
Charge to the person that rents.
That's right, right.
I charge you,
Right.
charge the person.
Exactly, it's like a meals tax, exactly. So instead of $1,000, it'd be $1,020.
In some ways, if I could just jump in, in some ways, it's even more favorable than the meals tax. I mean, the rate isn't as high,
Right.
but, with the meals tax, any of these folks out here may be driving through the restaurant here in town and have to pay that tax, but, with the transient occupancy tax, it's almost always going to be somebody from out of the area that's coming in and leaving his money here and going on, and not local people that are going to be paying it at all.
Right. So, and to borrow money, we are, as a town, on the B section, we are looking, we haven't actually made a commitment, but we are looking at several different offers to maybe establish a line of credit, just so in case we get this IDA form, everything comes in, someone wants to come in, that we can actually put some skin in the game with a real investor to have a large impact into the town, so that's what that's about. And of course we have money in the bank, everything's good, but it's always good to have a little extra in case you get somebody come in and say, hey, I'd like to spend $500,000 in your town on a project. Could you pitch in 5%? So you want to give them 25,000. So, but that's all possible with the IDA. You see, but that's what that's about. We're going to look at several different lines of credit. Interest rates, of course, is going to play a role. Mr. Carmody talked to a guy in Richmond. He was a Wiley, wasn't he, Mr. Carmody, about rates or whatever this past month. I remember his last name was Wiley, just because when you said that, I was thinking of Nellie Wiley. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
His name was Richard Wiley, I believe. You spoke with him in Richmond about interest rates on a line of credit. So, we're going to do it the right way. That's what that's about. But we got to have a public hearing to do that.
Also, I can't remember exactly what it was, but me and Mr. Farmer was talking, one time we had something that we probably could have really used for the town, but we had to start getting all our tax money in. So we know it's coming, you know this amount's coming, but you need this amount to get something great for the town, and we missed out on it. You remember us talking about it? I can't remember what it was, maybe a piece of equipment for Terry
Yeah,
or something,
just
but,
for an example, suppose you needed to have a piece of equipment to do something before the cold weather came. Well, tax revenue isn't gonna come until maybe it's too late to do that project.
right. Or we have a massive snow, and his equipment blows up. I mean, towards the end of the year, you start getting thinner on, that's why you have a budget. But also, we'd have that money if we had the emergency. I mean, not talking about a major emergency, but if we needed something, we knew the money was coming in, and, that's my opinion on it, because we missed out on a few things.
Yeah.
But are you want to schedule a?
We need a public hearing to go along. We've already scheduled a public hearing or basically for the motion next month in October for that. So we need a we're gonna have a public hearing on the transient occupancy tax and to borrow money and establish a line of credit. We did both of those. I mean, they're both two separate issues, but they can be held next October or this next meeting in October.
Are we
You need a motion on that.
when do you want to hold it?
At our October,
Before our regular meeting?
no, sometime.
Okay, just run it all sometime.
We're in all sometime.
Okay, do I have a motion?
It just delays the start of the regular meeting by a few minutes probably.
Right.
Right. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to ask a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Who's going to control this money? In
I
other
am,
words,
Johnny.
$50,000.
No, I'm kidding. You all are. You all. Before any money of that's spent, I will consult with the board, the council, and,
Will that be consulting with the board with a vote?
absolutely, if you want to. I can set it up any way you want, absolutely.
I think it needs to be set up to where you need a majority of the council to approve it.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that today, me and Mr. Carmen. We had to set a number, I guess, as far as, what if you can't get a hold of two guys, is three enough? Say you call six people, you're gonna get a hold of four.
Well, would you want, and let me ask you this since we're here. When I was on the board of supervisors, a lot of times, say something would happen, they would send a phone poll vote out, email, text message, whatever, how they could get a hold of you, and ask how you would vote on a certain issue. Would that be okay if something like that, or would you want to hold off until the meeting to do it?
I can see where you'd have an emergency, but I
Right.
think I handle money.
Right,
That's what I do, basically, all day. And, I'll not get too far into my money. But if Gene ain't looking and I wanna buy something, and I'm tempted, I might spend a little money that I ought not. I'm not saying I don't trust it, the town or the management or
Right.
anything. I'm saying the thing that needs to be done is some way we need to be in contact with the supervisor and get a majority of the vote. I personally, if you called me in one-on-one and me being a pushover, I'd probably go every how you want me to go. But if you called a meeting and I'm looking Tim Trent in the eye and I'm seeing he's not for this, I better be careful what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think you're better off when you have a majority of the council vote to spend any of it.
what I would recommend then, if you want to do it that way, I would recommend that you make it the motion that it takes at a council meeting unless, and put a contingent upon a catastrophe, like an emergency, like super, and then it's a phone poll vote, and then what we can do is, at our next board meeting or council meeting, that will be brought up and ratified. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but my wife thinks a catastrophe is
Well, I
She
mean,
needs to go buy a new dress.
what I'm saying is, it's not, what I'm
I
saying
don't
is,
know I don't know how you would determine
well,
if it's drastic to do that.
right, well, what I'm saying is like a, state of emergency. You know, something major happened. I'm not saying, so-and-so over here wants to spend 10 grand on getting the road paved. That doesn't qualify. You see what I'm saying?
I see where you're coming from. I just don't know how to keep that straight
Yeah.
with what is an emergency.
Well, one
Out of
thing,
this crowd right here, if my house caught on fire right now, and my nature and the way I am, I'd probably get me a sip of water and look down the floor and not worry about it too much. Some of you, if your house caught on fire, you'd almost have a heart attack and die. So I don't know how to see if it's an emergency with the right people. And I really do. I don't, if I've got men every day that I send out on a job, and it's nothing for me for somebody to call and say, I'll give you a good example. This week, we sold a car without insurance. It burned up on the dollar store parking lot down here in Richlands one day this week. I guess some of you have seen that. Well, they come and told me, looking for me to get mad, and I said, I don't have time to fool with it. Go check it out. So what they was thinking is going to be a real bad thing, I kind of ignored it and went on about my business. So I don't want it to get to where somebody can say, well, we need this, and I can get it through, let's do it. I think the council needs to vote on it.
yeah, well, I mean, even also, John, we could set an amount, you know, and here's the thing, it's not gonna be just an open checkbook. John's just not gonna write payrolls, and this will be our emergency fund. Is that how I'm reading all this?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have a problem with Mr. Smith. You know, he's a businessman. I don't have no problem with that. You know, I don't think nothing, you know, for saying, if something happens, we call emergency meeting. So with that being said, I mean,
Let me say this now, there's 6 of us. If you file a vote and say, you know, we're not agreeing with you, override me, and I'll promise you, I won't even turn red faced. I mean, but that's where my feelings are. I'm very conservative with my money. I know this has no place in our meeting, but I come up eating off trash dump. I know what it is to lick pipe ends, and I don't do that no more. But I've been very conservative. I had a man in Israel tell me, you handle your own money and you haul your own trash off, and you'll never want for money. And you know what I do today? I handle my money and I haul my trash off. I won't know what's in that trash. So, but if y'all say, whoa, you're a little bit out of line, vote it, I won't even turn red in the face. If I turn red faced, I'm a lying preacher. I won't give it. I just, myself, I think we need counsel.
I think what he's pitching is transparent. It's good common sense government. I have no problem with it. I know you all don't either. We all want to be fiscally responsible and conservative for the town. At the end of the day, it is taxpayers' money that will have to pay this note back if something went south. So with what Mr. Smith said, I recommend we do it that way. So,
Well, I would recommend, if it's not emergency, we bring it to the next council meeting. And if it is emergency, I'll call emergency meeting. If it's that important, I'll call emergency meeting. I'm always available. You call, I'll call. If I'm not available, he can do it. But we'll get it done, but guaranteed nothing will be spent till y'all know about it. And that's fine. I mean, and I agree too, because it's, you know, it's town,
Can
right?
I throw out another one?
Yeah.
It takes 4 votes to pass anything.
that's correct.
You got 4 retirees on the board. There ain't no way that should be able to get.
We should have a quorum,
emergency
shouldn't we?
meeting.
We can always come to the hospital.
That's a good reason to leave.
Terry's leg works here, we will find him, and I'm always available.
I started to say 4.5 counting Terry.
I'm old, I'm about 6.5 for me sometimes. Yeah, so, how's the council want to handle? Y'all want to go ahead and hear a motion? I mean, y'all want to, any more, we have a motion, do you have any more comments, or questions?
I'm fine.
We had a motion, didn't we already?
Who
Who made the
made?
motion? 'Cause I
No one made a motion. Go ahead and state your motion, Mr.
I
Smith.
make a motion that we have the council to approve, the majority of the council to approve anything that we have on our line of credit
Absolutely.
to be spent.
I'll second
Okay.
Okay, sanitation concerns, trash department complex.
Yeah. It is in, let's see here. I think it is in
Section 4, I believe.
section. I tell you what, now, Miss Hayes there, Miss Harris Jennifer, she did set these agendas up last couple of meetings. She's did a wonderful job as far as getting everything done here, more organized and all. This is, we've had some problems with trash and you know, just debris. A lot of people don't realize is when you put trash into a trash can, if it's not into a bag and it's windy, that trash blows out, especially if you don't have a lid on it. And then if it does rain, which God knows we need to rain, it rains in the day or two.
Wakefield Festival.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm afraid of this thing. But anyways, those cans get so heavy, our guys can't lift them to unload them, to dump them. So we've had a problem at a couple of apartment buildings. Now, I'm not gonna say which apartment building, but you all can imagine which apartment building. So what I'm proposing that we should do, instead of having like 10 or 12 or 14 just trash cans sitting out in wooden boxes, and people just throwing diapers in there, and beer cans and potato chip bags and nothing of them, and they think a trash bag now is a Walmart, tied up Walmart bag. You know, they got holes on each side. So anyways, what I'm proposing that we do is buy a dumpster, a real dumpster, and maybe subcontract our dumping fees out to Lust Disposal, and just hit the property owner with that, you know, is the way I would like to do that. And it would just be a whole neater avenue as far as keeping the town neat and clean. We've got pictures that this just atrocious. I mean, it's nasty. It is not, Terry?
Yeah.
So, you know, and it's a problem because if our guys don't dump their cans, because they don't put them in bags, they get mad. And then when they go out there to dump them, they're full of water, they can't dump because they can't pick them up. And it's just a nasty mess. So what I recommend that we do is just get a dumpster. First, I thought about renting a dumpster from Lust Disposal and maybe just charging them an up fee on that. But what I think is better than renting is just let's buy a dumpster and just Lust will charge us a small fee to dump that dumpster once a week. You know, then that way we own the dumpster. We get the majority of the money off, you know, because I think what we charge $13 a door, basically, $13 a residence per month to dump.
To do it.
Yeah, it would do it. I have I got rid of mine just because the dumpster where I had at my apartments was, I had problems with people putting mattress and box springs and recliners in them. And then when Lust would come to dump them, they wouldn't dump them with those furniture because the mattresses, you can't squash a mattress. So, you know, and it was just always a headache. So, but I don't know any other remedy to do it with. I mean,
And that property manager did call today and ask if we could offer dumpster services to them.
yeah, they did.
The ones I have at the dealership, they got metal doors, tops, you have to physically get out, you just can't sling it. You gotta get out and open your doors and you gotta lock them up. I mean, or, you know, I even talked to the owner, I said, we'll give you a lock and you can make 30 keys, all your tenants have a key. That way you don't have people from other neighbors just slinging their trash. And I said, you will see your trash problem will come down.
Right.
Keeps the buyers
Dumpsters have
out.
sliding doors on the sides?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sliding on the side, and then on the top, if you got something bigger, you just got a rope, take the rope, flip it over. Trust me, he puts his trash in there every Sunday. Busted, got him on camera. But I mean, he knows that you open it up and it's simple, isn't it?
I'm always afraid of seeing the bear there.
That's why I started thinking, I said, let's keep the animals out, so it does really work, it really, unless they'll pick up anything, we threw gas screws on it, on my.
Can we dump them ourselves and have to get the other truck?
Does it have a?
I think it's got a chain, for a,
It's got a rear.
dumpster, but it don't have the arms on it. You know, what I'm talking about, what takes a dumpster's the actual arms that picks it up and dumps it in, and then sits it down. It's got, that one don't
It's
do
got
that.
like little boxes on the side of the
That
arms.
them arms slide in and picks up. and
Plus, it
dumps
won't
in.
come charged to us, there's no liability if they hit a car, if the
Yeah.
wind blows it over, it's empty.
But I mean, if we own what I'm saying is, if we own our own dumpster, it's better than renting a dumpster from them and having to pay them once a week to come and dump.
Yeah.
We would save so much money, plus, of course, the only money we really have out is what they charge us to come and dump it.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great.
Spread the wealth.
So, do you need a motion?
Well, I need,
How do you want those?
what I would like to do, really don't need no motion on it, what I need to do is get some quotes. And I'll let you all know when I get some quotes on what the dumpster may cost. I think you can get a 6-yard dumpster. I found, well, actually, I didn't find them. Ryan Lord found them today on dumpster.com, Ryan.
You have
So-
to request a quote.
We gotta request a quote, but I think the average size for an apartment dumpster is a 6-yard dumpster. I would imagine,
Are we going to have somebody to watch that?
Not the way they're talking.
yeah.
Like Travis Hackworth contacted me about it 2 years ago. And he said, if you'll do it, I'll make sure it's cleaned up. In case, but on these dumpsters, you don't have a choice. You got physically open, you gotta get out of your car. Because trust me, I've been lazy on vacation. I've seen them ones out there and I just sling them over the rail. They hit, and sometimes, you gotta go down and pick up your trash, and some people won't do that.
Like at Riverside Villas, going down to Jim Brown's body shop, Travis has them down there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And you got them on a real nice concrete pad. It just keeps the trash down.
All right, great.
See if you can get Travis and Angel Boats to sign that petition, if they will
Okay?
pick it up.
I tell them you sent me.
Matter of fact, I'll tell them I recommend
You're
it.
always a dumpster police. You don't have to check with those. All right, schedule speakers, Glenda Singleton.
Okay. Well, it's getting that time of year. It's not far off, the 21st, so we're very excited, all of us, to welcome all the visitors that are coming to our community. And we've got a lot of things going on for them that day. We have arts and crafts and food and entertainment, 4 stages, and we're just real excited. We'll start setting it up, the vendors, after school is out, and we'll be out here at the gazebo to get everybody set up for the festival. And then, while they're setting up, we're gonna have the beach night band. They're gonna be out here at the High Top tent. And so we're just real excited about having them. They're gonna be there at 6 o'clock, so mark your calendars for that. Also, during the parade, we're having the classic car parade. It's gonna be at 3 o'clock. And Jim and Pat always help us out with that. And thank you so much for helping us with that. He interviews everybody, brings a car, and you get to talk to them and see what kind of car they actually have. And we have got this year Food City, and that big cart that they have, that big cart, they're bringing it. They're going to lead our parade. And we thank Freedom Forward too, because they're helping us to sponsor this, and we appreciate that so much. Do you all have any questions about the festival? Any of you? We appreciate you all fixing up the gazebo out here, Terry.
That was Mr.
And
Terry.
John, thank
That was
you
Mr.
so
Terry
much. It's
Robert,
really, it looks wonderful. Thank you for doing that. Any questions for you all?
We're pretty well up to date with the number of people that's coming.
Yes, we are. Yeah, I talked
What
to
about,
Sharon
do
today.
we need another tent?
Pardon?
Do we need another tent?
Oh, a big tent, always. We can always use another tent.
What about that?
I'd have to look back on all my stuff and see, but you was in on that, and we appreciate that. You were a big help with us getting that tent. Thank you so much, because that's been so wonderful for all of our entertainment and all.
Did you get an okay from G before you bought that tent?
What's in this room stays in this
We appreciate you, Smith, everything that you did, helping
If you
us to
appreciate
get
it, don't put it in the paper.
Oh, we do appreciate it. I've got a few other things that I want to kindly take you up to date with. Is in October the 5th, we're having a town-wide yard sale. October the 19th, the Cedar Bluff Elementary School is having their fall festival. Then you've got a huge event coming up October the 26th, and it's called Halloween Town. And it's a town-wide event. And Brad Ratliff and his crew up there have been helping us with this. And let me tell you a little bit about it. It's a trunk or treat, a chili cook-off, live music and entertainment, s'mores and more, hay rides, children's costume contest, also adult costume contest, car and motorcycle cruise-in, town-wide decoration contest, pumpkins contest, and a cornhole championship. Thank you very much. Sometimes those words just don't come out since I've been in the truck. But anyway, we're real excited about that. And Mike, aren't we having a meeting on this Thursday, 26th? Yeah. And so it's going to be at 5 o'clock here in the community room. So that's going to be a huge event for our community. Okay, November the 11th, Veterans Luncheon. And the BNP is going to be doing that at the fire station. Also, we'll be having a Veterans Day parade at 1 o'clock. And the Cedar Bluff Elementary School will have their program that day over here at school. And then December the 9th, the Cedar Bluff Elementary School will have their Christmas program at 7. And then our Christmas caroling here at the gazebo will be December the 16th. So that kind of gives you an outline of everything that we're
Copy
doing.
that, or can I?
I'll get you one.
The reason is the press always calls us the very next
Oh,
morning.
okay,
And they'll call Jennifer, and I'll give that to Jim or Warren
Okay.
Hinkle. And
Okay.
they'll put that in the paper for this week or next week, whenever.
Okay.
But just make sure we get a copy of that.
Okay,
Because
I'll
they
do
always
that.
call the next day and get her minutes.
okay.
When
I'll
we're in
try to
closed
get that.
session, she could make it.
Yeah? You can
I'll
make a
see
copy.
if I can write it all down. Okay,
Oh, okay.
That's
thank
fine.
you.
Thanks, Linda.
Uh-huh.
Just one, Linda, October 2nd's 70th anniversary of a big event up on College Hill,
What's that?
Oh.
my birth.
Oh! Well, thank you so much.
I'm ready, let's go. John, don't break that, we'll party. Oh, you be 70?
70.
Wow, you look great. You look great. You look like a bull, I'll be afraid to tackle.
Oh, don't give them back to her.
Chief Mike Brown?
I brought up at the last council meeting, and our little spiel, I included a note about the Police Explorer program from Boy Scouts of America. We've been working with that. We're working with the Buckskin troop. They're actually at Charleston, West Virginia, out in Hall County. Only thing we're waiting on right now is to get a survey sent so we can get it into schools, high school and middle school. So we're about one step away from setting this program up. There's not literature that I can hand out, but I'd have to entertain any questions or anything with the Explorer program. It's basically the Boy Scouts of America teaching life skills, but under a law enforcement type, military type program. If anyone has any questions or anything, I'm more than happy to try to answer them. If not,
I do, Mike,
yes, sir.
where do you all meet?
We haven't actually started the program yet, but we will be meeting here at the community room, tentatively right now. As we progress into the program, we take them to the academy, to the range. Expose them to the day in, day out law enforcement to see if that is a career field they're interested in. There's outings. There's a whole lot of stuff that this program encompasses. There's a whole lot more to it than just showing up here and trading war stories and letting Danny Brown show them how to write a ticket or two. But if anybody's got any questions, I'll be more than glad to answer them.
Where does the funding come for that?
I'm sorry, the
Where
funding
does the funding come
through
from?
the Boy Scouts of America. As far as liability insurance, we're already paying that through the community fire department, the junior fire department members.
Right.
Okay,
If you don't mind, when you do get all that, send an email out to us.
I will, sir. Also, in your booklets that Ms. Hayes put together, section 5. This is my first year as a school resource officer. This is just a copy of the quarterly report that we have to submit at the end of this month. I provided that to let you guys take a look at it, to show that he's active over there, if he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and we're meeting the objectives of the grant. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it, Steve.
Okay, next is public comments.
Done deal.
Yeah. Jim Singleton, 109 Singleton Lane. Who's responsible for having all this stuff moved?
These guys.
It certainly looks good. I've noticed the last couple of days, that y'all just got somebody to do that.
Yeah, Chuck.
They've done a good job on it. And, we're just kind of aware of it since it's just before the festival, and, the repaving looks good. It really spruces up the town, but whoever did it, we appreciate it.
Absolutely. We did contact VDOT today about a few trees for the siren. Yeah, they're still talking to Jamie Pennington. He's over the tree stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to nudge him a little bit. At first he said, I don't know. Now he's kind of, well, let's see. So we're meeting him on like that little place there tomorrow and maybe get something done. So, and then we've already, have somebody that's single from there to exit 1 coming off where all that is. It's all going to be cleared off too. It's a different company, but it was paid for several months ago, but we want to wait towards the festival. Plus this time of year you get VDOT recommend we do it this time of year to last until next year, until early next year. So I think it looks great.
Okay.
I mean, I'd love to take all the credit for it, but I'm just gonna take 99%. And I think, actually I come down, I was test driving the car with the customer, I'm pretty sure I seen Kenny across the guardrail down Edgewater Drive, is that right? So Kenny must have a crew, and I seen Jerry, well, he's been everywhere, and John, so I think it looks great. Looks wonderful.
I'll take the other 1%.
Well, I'll just take the 1, you take the 99. But it does look great, I do appreciate you noticing it too. I called John this morning bragging on it.
We had some people funeral just yesterday comment on that.
Yeah, they're still up there working when I come down tonight at 7:15, they still work. Doing a good job.
I think, once you brought that up, I think that Chuck called me today, called me a couple times while I was in Bristol. I told him that I would talk to you guys tonight about
I was gonna mention that exactly.
clear cut, just cut all the trees, everything.
Yeah.
You don't feel about that? Think it would look better?
I've never had a problem with that. The only thing anybody's ever told me is some of the roots keep holding the mountain up, I guess. Do you have a comment about this?
Well, about 10.
Oh, no, I'm just, you have any, I mean, what we,
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't know. Me and John actually probably cut trees.
Well, the only problem I see is, I like Jerry's idea about clear cut, just because one day those trees are gonna get big, and we've had to,
You'll have to do it again in a year or two from now if you don't do it now.
Right.
I mean, trim.
When we had a big tree fall, I guess everybody's seen the sidewalk.
yeah,
Back in the day, I said I'd love to have a bicycle.
yeah,
I mean, we would've jumped that all day long.
yeah.
But, I mean, you're gonna have those natural things, but yeah, I mean, whatever.
I agree with that though, yeah.
Well, you can't cut the trees, or you shouldn't cut the trees on the riverbank down there, because they're holding the bank up.
That's
I was
right.
talking to Chuck about that the other day. But
Yeah.
They're trimming them real good, but
Yeah.
those trees don't need to stay there,
Okay,
or just cut them back.
right, right.
Well, if you look going, the exit going into Richlands, they cut all that big hillside off going into Richlands.
I agree with you on
I
that
think
one.
it looks
That's
really
good.
good.
That's
Did
good.
they leave any of the trees? They cut them too.
I think they cut
They
everything.
cut everything, yeah.
Wow.
No, they left a few, but they need to be cut.
Trees, yeah.
Okay.
Y'all know better than me. I don't know. You can cut certain trees if you can. Dogwoods and all this, so I don't know clues. But Jim, you wanna come up?
Yeah.
Jim Ray. Just let me say that you guys are doing an awesome job with this town. Every time you come through here, you see improvement somewhere,
We appreciate that.
and it just looks awesome from one end to the other. All those guys, they clean that mess up out there on toward high school. That really looks good too.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's doing a great job.
Yeah.
I just want to say thanks to all of you for the POW support that you've given us up here. I know we've been talking about a fence, and I talked to a couple of council members the other day about it, and I'd like for the council to really consider that and see if we can't get something going for that up there.
What, I haven't heard about it. What kind of fence?
Well,
It's
Jerry, he could probably enlighten.
Yeah, we had a quote, and we're probably gonna reach out and get some more quotes.
Yeah,
And the quote that we had was,
the quote was a little high.
it was astronomical. I was like, holy
How
moly,
much was it?
$5,300. And it really wasn't that big. It's not that big a spot. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't care if you make money on me, but don't knock me in the creek, you know. And
Oh, he's gonna fence the whole town.
right. Yeah, if he's doing the whole park, maybe up there at the overlook, but it's just in front of basically what Mr. Ray's wanting to do is just fence right there off the asphalt where we got a problem where people pulling off the road there in front of the POW, mashing those gravels down, fence there, and just take it back on the corners. It ain't the back of it facing the 4-lane won't be fenced. It's just,
That's what worries me more than anything,
what's that?
the back,
Yeah,
because it's straight drop off of there.
Yeah.
And when it gets dark, you can't tell that.
yeah. It would be good maybe if we did like, we talked about how you said we could do a chain.
Right.
We could do that on the backside.
Right, yeah.
You know, instead of spinning,
You talking about black poles, like a black chain or something?
yeah, like a
Yeah,
black,
on the back side,
Yeah,
yeah,
facing the highway.
facing the highway. That way we can hold anybody, you know, or at least have a barrier there in case somebody got near that edge
It'd
like
be
we're
like a
talking
rod
about.
arm type fence comes around the front of it.
Yeah.
You got it?
And-
Like yours. Mhm.
So, I'm not saying we can make this happen, but if we could get somebody to donate this fence, I would help, you know, I'm sure we could all help put it up.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a fence at my house that maybe you could look at, I could probably get that fence for you. But it's a black, what would
That's
you
what
call
It's black wrought iron.
it? You look at the one I got around my house, I could
As a matter
probably.
of fact, I brought a couple brochure to it too, so. This is what John gave me.
Yeah.
He could.
And that's what the fence
John
guy, no,
It was this,
me, he gave it to me, the fence guy gave that to me. And that's about what we were gonna go with.
But I think we could put the fence up if I could. Terry over here, he's, man, I mean, you know, he's just been awesome. Everything we've done up there, Terry's been right there with us, him and Rick Bosch.
Yeah.
And the other one, I can't think of what his name is, but they've all just been awesome.
that's about it. Something like that.
Yeah.
Then what you want? Something like this or this?
Yeah, well, either one of them
Cause this would probably be a little easier, but I don't know if that's.
I like the bigger looking one, you know, 4 foot high.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a super top.
For sure.
To get it back to him.
If somebody could get a quote on how many panels we need, or just get me a distance, 16 foot, 25 foot, just see what we can do.
100 foot, 100 foot.
I think it was 123.
Okay.
100
Total.
I mean, that's going back and connecting, so you're looking probably 80 feet across by 20 on each side, maybe 23 on one side and 20 on the other side, just the way
I think if you
said.
stand up on top of the hill up there and look down on it with a fence around it, it's gonna look like a prisoner of war camp. And that kind of a fence there will give it the POW look.
Okay.
I mean, we just fit right into the look of it.
I'm
And
not,
also, we got some lights too, we need to, Joe's,
have we ever, I mean, I'm talking way out of the box, probably way out of turn and everything, but have we ever, I mean, is there certain fences where you could, I know it might sound weird, but like, let people buy that section of the fence, you know what I'm saying, in memory of, or dedication of?
absolutely, yeah,
Because I think
we got other stuff up there like that too, so.
Because I like, you know, when some towns do some big projects with bricks, they'll sell the bricks $20 a piece. They make money on it, plus what they do, if the brick's $5, they take that, and this is what they tell me, they take the other 15, put it back for maintenance. If a brick gets broke, they replace the names. But a lot of people would probably, I mean, I'd buy a section for my family. You know, not that we
We
would
could have
for anything, I would just do it for y'all, you know what I'm saying? People-
Actually, we could have a little tag put on the bottom of it, you know.
Yeah, people like to get involved too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you have anybody in your family, military, I mean, you know what I'm saying? If it was $50, $100, people like doing stuff like that. It'd be something for you to think about.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to get involved in something I know nothing about.
Yeah. But I think that's a great idea, you know, I mean, if we can't, you know, I'm sure someone's gonna donate. Definitely.
I'm
Right.
a fundraising king. I had a guy in Florida call me on a race car. I said, take the front of it, the back of it, and go to schools and let parents, let their kids sign the hood of your car. He got 1 million signatures. He got $1 million. He got $1 a piece. But it's called the People's Car, People's Chant, and it's in Florida. I just threw the idea at him.
Yeah.
He got 1 million signatures, got $1 a signature. He went to the schools, and the schools would come out to their kids, they'd send $20 in. But every time he wins races, he sends these trophies to the schools, and people want involved, what I'm saying. You get people involved, you know. Kenny might have a passion for something that I don't, or I might have a passion for something he don't, so. Give people a chance to be a part of it too.
And as we talked about it, you know, Kenny and I and Jerry too, we talked about it a lot, and I think they're wanting a fence up there too, of some sort.
Right, great.
I like to see the town step up and do something really big, you know, other than donate the land, you know, and all the help. That's another 1%. Thank y'all.
Joe's gonna take care of the lights. Did you had the lights or something, guy donated the lights?
Yes. He said when they came in, one was broken, he had to send it, repackage that one, send it back, and they're sending him another one. We have one right here.
Right.
Did he bring the other light to you, John?
I don't think so.
No.
John Hill?
John Hill, he lives in my subdivision. You want me to stop by and see him one evening, one
You
afternoon?
could ask him about the lights, but he
Okay.
said it would probably be 2 weeks before you get them in. That was last week, so that's why the lights didn't.
That's gonna be awesome if we get the lights on that thing up there. People can see it, you know.
Okay.
Any more public comment? Good. Okay, town manager's report.
Okay. Well, all we needed was Kenny Shepherd this whole time. We finally got the roof on the fire department, then with Mr. Shepherd. And really, it was his drive and determination to get it done. I have to give him a hand clap and applaud him that he took the initiative to get it done, even though I was dreading it and Terry was dreading it, we was all dreading it. He pushed us in the direction to get it done. The metal on the fire department had laid on the ground for over a year. And Kenny said, we're putting that metal roof on. So he was up there Thursday, Friday, Monday, and today. The metal roof's on at the Cedar Bluff Fire Department, completely done. Everything. They may have like a few pieces of trim, but he's put snow guards on. I want to give him a hand clap, all of us. Give him a hand clap. I lost about 10 pounds in the last few days up around that roof, and I mean, I lost it somewhere, maybe not right there, but it's gone from somewhere, I can tell. But anyways, I reached out to Jeff Taylor at the Old Mill at the, we're having the Curvy meeting there October 15th. About 40 people there. It's gonna be at the Old Mill here in Cedar Bluff, October 15th at 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you can make it, Linda, it'd be great.
Okay.
AJ Robinson will be there, and that's October 15th. And I think actually Tazewell County is going to have it catered. The Board of Supervisors through the IDA is going to have it catered, but we got the location. Okay, Town of Cedar Bluff. Here's the deal here. And me and Jennifer has been working on this all month, and she actually did the contract to do this. So I called Adrian Cordell at the Town of Richlands. I love Adrian Cordell. Of course, her husband, me and Lee, we're all good friends. Ronnie Cordell, we're all went to school together, played ball together. On the debt set, when people say move into an apartment, say my mom and dad's apartment, Travis Hackworth's apartments, Mary Ann Strong's, whoever's apartment it is, say me and Lee move in together and the water's in his name, and then we move out or something happens and he don't pay the water bill, we've got people in the town just switching the water over and say, well, he moved out, I'm gonna put the water in my name. And they've been beating the town out of thousands of dollars a year by doing that. So I asked Adrian, is there any way we could collect on that money from people that's left us high and dry? She said there was no way. She had actually talked to Norman Cook a few years ago, and there was just, the counties could collect on it by garnishing their taxes, like when they filed for their tax returns at H&R Block, but the towns wasn't able to do it. And I was like, well, that just don't make sense. So we called the PSA, and of course, we wanted to talk to Ike Ball, but we spoke with Jan Cordell, and Jan told us how. So anyways, I went one step further. I reached out to David Larimer. David seems to think that we can. Of course, he was supposed to call me back today and give me, so Jennifer's got everything wrote up on this. It will benefit the town that we could probably, you know, it's not, you're not garnishing anyone's wage, but if someone does you that way and they work and they go to H&R Block, you know, and do a tax return or wherever they file their taxes at, when that tax return comes in, if they owe us $160 on a previous water bill, it grabs it for the town of Cedar Bluff. You see what I'm saying? So the county does it already right now. Jan Cordell told me they get almost $10,000 a year that way alone. So if we just get a portion of that owed to the towns, it will really help. Plus, when I was on the phone with David Larimer, he told us that right now, and I didn't even know this, that was just implemented not too long ago that personal property, is what he said? Personal property, he actually sent a clerk over to the town of Tazewell to meet with Todd Day, the town manager over there, and with some of his help there. But they can do that right now on personal property, whether it's a boat, a car, a motorcycle right now. So if you don't pay them personal property tax, they can attach it to your taxes. So when you file taxes, they get reimbursed for that. So the town of Tazewell's already implementing that. I asked David Larimer, could he send a clerk down with us just to walk us through the process of how to do that. I don't know how to go about doing it. And he said he would. But of course, it's going to be next month while we get our new system in. So we've got all that, hopefully, to get taken care of. The one step further than what we could do, you know, if David Larimer some way runs into some trouble or can't get it done, we can always reach out to Ben Chafin or Will Moorfield. It's an election year. It's always good to hit them during an election year. So we can get legislation passed that way. We got York Lindsay's guardrail taken care of. Chuck Bentley did it. Speedy Lou looks great. The bank at Speedy Lou. Barry, is Barry here? Yeah. Do you think this bank at Speedy Lou looks good, Barry, there on both sides? We've had a lot of complaints, people pulling out of Old Kentucky Turnpike, looking back down the road, couldn't see because all that brush beside the bridge, you couldn't see to pull out. So he took care of all of that. Of course, we have the greatest chief, I feel like, in Tazewell County, Mike Brown, Chief Brown. He is working on getting us some computer quotes. Where you at, Chief? If I see the chief, there he is, there's the chief. You're getting us some computer quotes, correct?
Yes, sir.
To go with our new server. One more thing I have to say about Chief Brown. You know, and I'm not a micromanager, never have been, never will be, that's just not who I am, you know. And under previous managers, I'm not mentioning names, but just under previous managers, with that being said, they just took it up on themselves that they knew it all, always. And I'll just be honest with you right now, I do not know it all. I ask for help all the time. I'll call Terry Stevens and say, hey, what did we buy this load of gravels for? And he'll say, well, that went up to the overlook part. You know, so anyways, Chief Brown discovered, we got this bill in, and I really didn't know, so I just deferred to him at something with law enforcement. Well, he discovered that we had been paying $3,005 a year for, I have it right here, right down here, $3,000. For it was called MDIS. It was through our Southern software, but we have paid $3,005 a year since 2012. So for the last 7 years, we wrote them $21,035 that we never used. It was never implemented. Chief Brown discovered it. It was paid this time last year by the town manager that was here this time last year, and I'm not mentioning names. But why? Because the difference between me and that town manager is, if I don't know something, I ask him. You know, I believe, you know, going into stuff, you just need to say, you know all, be all. I know I'm not know all, be all. You know, Linda Singleton, I mean, I love Linda Singleton. I rely on her and Jim. And there's something else I want to brag about Jim Singleton. I was talking to him the other day, and it was in my manager's report. Here, what does it say? Jim Singleton, Cutting Trees Hero. We was just out here bullcrapping one morning before work gets started, and he come over to see me and Terry, and we was looking at those limbs. Well, I pull out here at lunch to go meet my wife for lunch. He's over there. You cut that tree that we talked about. I wasn't even going to get you. I was going to get Chuck and him to cut it.
Well,
you know.
I had vertigo, fell off the ladder.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I was like, here it is, 90 degrees outside, and Jim Singleton's cutting that tree, and I didn't even ask you to cut it. We was just talking about
Well, it
it.
was bothering us.
Yeah. Well, anyway, actually, it was leaning. It wasn't even in your parking lot. It was in the neighboring parking lot. But that's the kind of people we have here in the town of Cedar Bluff. You know, you can just be nonchalant, not even really talking about stuff. People care about the town, and they take it up on themselves. It's almost like John F. Kennedy always said, it's not what your country can do for you, but what can you do for your country. It's like what we can do for our town. You know, we got people like Jim Singleton and so many great people here. Chief Brown, though, I think he deserves a hand clap for $3,005 he saved the town. I think so, and he deserves all the credit in the world because he discovered. I didn't discover it. He did it. Well, Mr. Brown, Mr. Heron said, can that money be recouped? What did they say to you, Southern Software?
Well, I'm working on it. I have to prove that we've never used the software, that it's never been implemented. The money can be credited back to us, which for our new, like our RNS, FMS, the money can be credited to that. You know, once I can document and show that we've never used the MDIS system. I'm waiting on them to email me a copy they're going to email me a copy of the original contract that was signed in 2012. I've already checked with 911 dispatch because anytime if we were using MDIS and we run a driver's license or we run a tag, it's logged up there. So Sergeant Lloyd up there is going through her system to see if it's ever been used. But to my understanding, it's never been implemented here. Once I've got the documentation, I can email Southern Software and it can be credited to our account to cover our RMS and FMS bills. Or future bills.
Won't that be great? Yeah. I mean, that's so. In our planning commission meeting, I have a lady in Indian Creek that is proposing to put a double wide. It's currently not in the comprehensive plan. It is in the ordinance, but we've made an adjustment to the ordinance. With that being said, the planning commission has not voted on anything in favor of that. So what we did was just to go through the proper procedure. They had sent a letter out to the adjoining property owner, making sure the adjoining property owner doesn't have a problem with it. Of course, it'll be brought up next month at the planning commission meeting. Mr. Trent, remember, we agreed to send that out to the adjoining property owner. No action from the planning commission has been taken, but I wanted to keep you all in the loop. So let me see right, let's get that right there. And, shoot, right on there. What? What'd you say? You remember that? They don't know what we've been doing. Okay, I had a meeting this past week. I don't know if this is something you all want to do or not. If y'all want to think about it, table it, whatever. I talked to Jerry about it. I talked to Kenny about it. It's an entrepreneur program through Tazewell County. I talked to Tom Lester. Tom Lester said him and the other board of supervisors gave money to the IDA for this. What it is it's almost like, if you can visualize this, it's for like, it's basically, we set up a committee or a panel of people, the town of Pocahontas, town of Tazewell, town of Bluefield, Richlands, and Cedar Bluff. What we'll do is we'll all give $2,500 per town to this pool. Tazewell County IDA is going to put in like 10 grand this year. And then we'll also do it again for next year. But what they do is they hear pitches from small business owners on how to grow their business, how they could expand, what they could do, you know. You may not even have a business, but you're needing some capital to start a business. You have a wonderful idea, but you have no money. Well, all these characteristics is brought in. I think one of the judges is Jean Hurl. Another lady at the spokesman at one of these events is Cody's sister that owns the Classic Closet, Amanda Ellsworth. She's one of the spokeswomen there. But anyways, you got people like that throughout Tazewell County and all regions of the county that will be speaking. So the good thing about it is, you know, they want to do that. Now, I know $2,500 is a lot of money. I asked Tom Lester. I went by his house yesterday and seen him. I asked him to forgive me for not being able to make his mother's funeral on Sunday. And we talked about it. And he said that they had already, as a board, had designated money from their account to the IDA to be put up with the other towns. But I'm not sure if all the other towns is putting the full gist in, you know what I mean? So, you know, I know that the day that Pam Warden pitched it to me, and I was there, and Tim Taylor was there, and Adrian Cordell was there, Billy Roberts from Bluefield was there, and some Brewster girl from the Tazewell was there, and I can't remember who was there from Pocahontas, but it was the understanding that it was $2,500 per township. And then of course the IDA is going to put that. I think first place pays like 10 grand, second place is like 5, and anyways, it averages out to whatever the money comes out to be. It may be 10, 7,500, and 5. I don't know, but first, second, third. But it's basically like Shark Tank is the way I pictured it in my mind. You know, whoever pitched the best deal and come up and qualified on to the next round. I don't know, it's just, I told him that I would bring it up to you all, and I know Mr. Herron was concerned because $2,500 is a lot of money, you know.
Can you not give us any out of the discretionary fund?
Well, he said, that he gave money, I think they gave like $2,000 a piece, like he gave to Travis, Mike Himes, Maggie, Charlie, all of them, for a total of 10 to the IDA. To be matched with the townships is what he said. So, but I mean, y'all think about it, what we can do, y'all think about it. I mean, I'm not saying it. I think we need to take action tonight, whether we do it or don't do it, but I don't think it has to be right now. I think we can go into executive session, talk about a few other issues, what we got, and y'all come back out. If y'all don't want to take action on it, no big deal, because I don't want to say we need to do it, and y'all, because I'm going to be honest with you. When I was first told about it, me and Terry, we was under the impression it was $250. I was like, Lord God, yeah, I no problem. We'll do that. It got up there, it was $2,500. Was it not, Terry?
Yeah.
So, that changed the game, so, I can see $250 going to 1,000, but you know, 250 going to 2,500, that's a totally different amount. So, anyways, we'll think about it. That's it for me. I'm sorry.
Okay. Next, we're gonna, approval to pay the bills.
Okay.
We'll go 20, 11, 12. Did y'all have a chance to look at the bills? John? Any concerns with those? Guys, anything? Joe, glad you get to look at them and stuff? Or Mr. McLaughlin?
I signed a check, so I know pretty much what's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make a motion to pay the bill.
That's it. John.
Johnny second.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Who made that motion?
John.
Terry.
Johnny second.
Terry made the motion.
Yeah. And,
And who seconded?
John.
John. Okay, you have anything for the fire department?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't have to wear glasses anymore either.
You have that surgery?
Had cataract surgery,
Works
man.
fine.
He told me to throw my glasses away. It feels good. So they had 3 monthly meetings, 2 calls during the month. Junior firefighter Austin Brown completed the firefighter 1 certification. In-house training on pump operation, and Mike Brown completed his firefighter 1 certification. Total hours of the meeting, training 72, total hours on call 17. And they also have a new carport up at the fire station now. 20 by 21, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Will both those trucks go under there?
We
haven't tried
to put
You haven't tried them yet?
Awesome.
They will go under though, for the width. I probably made a boo-boo though, as bad as I hate to admit it. I didn't measure physically. What I did is I got a guy that sold those buildings that was local to come up and he measured the buildings. Because I want to make sure, because they got those light bars on top of those crash trucks, I want to make sure we got the right height. I was worried more in my mind about the height than I was the length. So me and Kenny got up there the other day, we was putting the roof on, and I was reaching the mantle up to Kenny and Robert, and Kenny's like, let's go look at them trucks, go look at that building. So the height is fine. They'll go under the building. When you add the winch onto the front bumper of the crash truck, and then you got that, whatever that is, contraption is on the bumper, one side of the trucks will be sticking outside of the shed, 1.5 feet, ain't it, Kenny? So really, instead of being 20 feet wide and 21 feet long, it should have been probably 20 by 24, really. And that's totally on me, because I did not measure. I had a guy come up because I was worried about the lights at the top, because I know the bar lights getting in, and that was no one's mistake but me. And he said, this is the size you need. Did he not, Jennifer?
Yes, he even sent it
He
to
called, he
us.
said, I measured this size you need, 2 trucks to get under this shed. So when we price checked his match on what he measured, we found a building cheaper somewhere else, you know. And of course, it's still a Southwest Virginia company, but it's not 20 minutes down the road. But anyways, that's what we ordered. But really, physically, what I should have done is went out there. I got a tape measure in my truck. I don't know why I didn't do it. I just took his word for it, to be honest with you. Got out there, because me and Kenny was looking at that truck with that winch on the front of it. It's probably 22.5 feet long. So it's 1.5 feet too long.
And does he know that it was a little short? I mean, is there a way he could rectify
We
that?
didn't buy it off him.
We didn't buy it.
After he gave us the quote, the price, like, we found cheaper, is what he said. But one thing, how far is it sticking out, Barry? Or you know, Barry, is it gonna
No, it wouldn't be over a couple of feet.
be? Is that something you can extend the ends out on that metal, maybe? Can you get?
Not to
extend
make
them
the
out?
roof look good.
Good.
What I recommend we do is back it up and let the back stick out back away from the road where you can't tell it, you know what I'm saying? And do it that way. And plus you're protected on that one side with near Christine's shop. But still, you know, after that guy measured it, he sells them for a living, so I just assumed he knew what he was doing. He
We
knew
told
the-
him the 2 trucks that was going under.
Yeah, and I said the 2 trucks is going under them, so the height is fine, it's just, he got the length wrong, it should have
We
been,
measured the trucks, they're 8 feet
yeah,
wide,
yeah.
and it's 20 feet, so I don't know, it's gonna be close.
Police department report?
The police department responded to the 73 calls. They worked 5 accidents, had 3 arrests, made 52 traffic stops. They issued 35 traffic summons, traffic checkpoints, 1. Total miles of patrol, 3,455. Total town tickets issued, none. Assist other jurisdiction, 4 times with that. And K-9 deployments, they had none, and DUI arrest, 1. Then on August the 7th, Chief Brown and Officer Crabtree attended kindergarten through 12th grade threat assessment training. Where did y'all do that? Where did you have it?
That was in Tazewell, sir. In Tazewell.
In Tazewell. August the 9th, the officers participated in the POW Memorial Chair Light Tower dedication ceremony, and the sheriff's department was here, and that was a big ceremony up there at the park. And the Neighborhood Watch meeting on September the 19th at 7 p.m. in the community room at the town hall. So that's the 19th of September here. That's it.
Thank you.
Water department, they repaired a line leak on Baines Bottom Road, installed 128 new meters and 75 radios. Those are the meters that read by radio. Yeah, what they were telling me?
Yeah.
So some of them were just the old style meters, and some of them were the new type.
Well, then, what it is, the radios is what you have to have when you're gonna do a radio read, like, that you don't have to physically go over and pop the lid up. So, so on the 75 radios, he's still got to install 53 more radios to go with those new
They all
meters.
come with one.
Yeah.
Repaired hydrant on Hillcrest. All samples are taken were good, all water samples. We'll continue to place the meters in coming weeks. Customers' water will be shut off temporarily for new installations, and this is part of the Phase 2 grant project. Now, is it true that if we don't have all these meters installed by a certain date in October, that we're going to have to pay a fine or
A
something?
portion of the money back, that's true. That is all true.
Well, shouldn't we be getting him some help?
He's got, how many, he said he'd have them in, didn't he, Jim?
Yeah, he doesn't like a lot more.
He's got over half of them in. He does.
That's Rick.
Yeah,
He says he can get them in.
he said he'd get them in. He's been putting in 25 a day by himself.
Awesome. Okay, next, council concerns. Any council concerns, guys?
I've got one, but I think it needs to be discussed in closed session.
Okay, awesome. Mayor concerns, I was just gonna brag on everything in town that Jim did. You know, so it was funny, I went down through town, Kenny's over the guardrail, weed eating. John's running somewhere, I passed Terry over here on a hill, so I called the chief. Some people in town called and said they had a snake in their business. And I was like, look, I called the chief, he said, well, I'm handling was it grand larceny or something, chief, he was working on? He's working on a grand larceny case, so here I go down there and get this snake. But as I'm going down, I'm like, gosh, why am I doing this? And I look, Kenny's jumped over the guardrail. And I said, well, Kenny jumped over the guardrail, and Terry's up on that hill, and John's over here on this hill. I might as well go get this snake out. But I mean, these guys, they work good together. I'm telling you, it amazes me how everybody just comes together. I was telling about me calling you on the snake, and he was like, I'm handling, what was it, a grand larceny? I can't remember. But we got the snake out of business. It's about that long. And then after I get it out, the lady said, can I see it? I said, sure. Terry shows up, I take her outside, she said, that ain't the snake. I said, that's the only one I did. I said, that's all I'm getting today, honey. All I recommend is get you some cats. But I just wanna brag on these guys, they really do a good job. Now, do we always see eye to eye? No way, never gonna happen, but it seems like it works and everybody gets along great. And I appreciate what everybody else does, cause a lot of times, I do get the credit. But like me and John argued for 30 minutes on the phone with another guy this morning, he kept saying, who did this, who did this? John said, you did it, you just, I didn't do it. I mean, it was good, it was something great, it was bragging on us, but we both just declined it and said it was some icing. One of our councilmen did it. You know, one of our guys, you know, they do a great job. I gotta brag on them. That's all I have. And next, we have closed session, personnel matters, section 212-3711-A1. Personnel matters, section 2-3711-A7. Legal litigation, and section 2.2-3711-A29, legal contracts.
I don't think we have any litigation to talk about.
Anything?
What's that?
But I don't believe we have any litigation to talk about.
I like to stick on there just in case we litigate.
I'd like to also thank the council for the donation for the festival. Thank you very much. I got this for Jennifer.
If you don't think we need it, we can scratch it.
There you go. Hope you can read it.
Do you have any contracts to talk about?
I don't think so. You'll just scratch it.
Yeah.
What about,
He did have something.
would that be it? Will it work? I didn't know.
Yeah, all right. So we'll just scratch out the litigation.
Right. Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Which
When we
page?
come back in, that,
I laid it right there.
ready to say it?
I'm asking for.
I should lay John one over here.
I'm gonna do it.
Well, we really need to push that forward. I will. For the chamber and also for the tourism. I'm gonna push it, that you too, Josh, put it on brochures. Now, I'm gonna make sure that-
We're gonna have some.